Hey, Crypto Newbie. My name is Mike with CryptoEase with Mike, and I'm here to introduce you to the 3 simple steps that will get any absolute newbie started with crypto. You don't have to be scared. We're going to go to this together, and I'm going to show you in very simple terms how you can get started with crypto today. Let's get started. First of all, welcome to CryptoEase with Mike. I like to simplify crypto and DeFi for everybody. I also have a group that you can join if you like. The link is in the description below. But you have everything you need in this video right here to get started. And if you choose to use my affiliate links, I do appreciate you. Those will be posted below in the description as well. All right, let's get started. The 3 steps that you're going to complete to get started with crypto is really, really easy. We're going to get you a Coinbase account. And with that Coinbase account, we'll show you how to get connected, get your bank account going, and how to transfer money. And then go ahead to step 2, buying your first crypto. Now, because you're an absolute newbie, I only want you to focus on trusted blue chip crypto just to get started and to get familiar with things. And I'll walk you through that too. Last, we're going to look at dollar cost averaging. And if that's an unfamiliar term to you, don't worry about it. We're going to get to it, and it's a super simple way to take the risk and fear out of buying crypto and feel like you're actually getting ahead. So let's get going. Right. In step 1, we want you to set up a Coinbase account. Now, why Coinbase? Coinbase is a reputable exchange. There are other exchanges. There's Binance, Gemini, Kraken, and so on. And all of these are centralized. Now, me personally, I would love for all of my subscribers and followers and members to be in DeFi and self custody. But the fact of the matter is that if you live in the USA, Canada, UK, Australia, and a lot of other countries, you have to complete government regulations in order to be able to move your cash money, your fiat money, US dollars, and so on, from your bank account over to the crypto world. However, the good news is that once you're in that centralized world, there are ways for you to get your money into the decentralized finance world. And we just want to get you started today with the centralized world. This is the easiest way to get started in crypto, not necessarily well, maybe it's the simplest way to get started in crypto, not necessarily the easiest. Crypto is, by virtue of the fact that it's an entirely new asset class, kind of confusing and unfamiliar to some people, and I totally get that. We all come from a world with cash. We walk into a store and we think we're paying cash or we're using a debit card. And in fact, there's a lot of terminologies and concepts that are actually quite familiar to us over in crypto, and you'll see that as we go along. Now, some of it is new. Some of the language is new. Some of the jargon is new. We can't make things jargon free. I would rather you know the actual jargon you use in crypto than try to give you some other words that might seem easier, but actually when you start talking to other people in crypto or working with projects or even talking to Coinbase support, you want to use the right language. So I'll teach you that too. Okay, so Coinbase is going to be our go-to account for this. Now, you can use my affiliate link below that helps support the channel, but if you don't want to use it, that's perfectly fine by me. The URL that you want to go to is coinbase.com. So let's type this in here, HTTPS. Did I get the right one? No, slash slash coinbase.com. Why am I typing out the URL? Well, one of the first things you're going to learn in crypto is that because it's a whole new asset class and government regulation is only just starting to trickle in, that a little bit can be the Wild West. And in that Wild West, there are cowboys, Indians, and bad guys. Okay. And some of the bad guys want you to click on their fake URLs. So they might have a URL like joincoinbase.com, but actually that takes you to a whole other site and drains your money. So one of the key security feature or security thoughts in crypto is always make sure you're using the correct URL. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now that we're on coinbase.com, let's go ahead and create an account. You're going to go ahead and click create an account with Coinbase, and instead of showing you all of those images because they change their user interface around, all of them keep changing things and trying to create needless complexity. But we all need to have a centralized start in crypto. We all need to be able to on ramp our US dollars over to crypto. So create your account. And as part of your account, I'm going to tell you two key things that you want to be aware of. You want to, well, three things, I guess, three key things you want to be aware of. One is when you create your account, you do want to use a complex password. Another security tip is you can get a password manager. Password managers can remember all your passwords, and all you need to do is remember one password for your whole password manager. I use password managers that manage thousands of passwords for all of my customers and all of my family. Okay. And this is a really easy way to make sure that you're using secure passwords without having to remember them all day long. So maybe consider getting a password manager. Password manager that I like using is called Keeper's Security. And I'll put a link for that in the description below. Next is you are going to have to complete KYC. And this is part of the reason we have to use a centralized exchange. It doesn't matter how you get your money into crypto. If you do it legally and by the book, which is recommended, then you are going to have to complete KYC. And Coinbase is easily teachable, it's easily understood, it's very popular. And this is one of the reasons I like using Coinbase. So, uh, go ahead and complete your KYC. Now, you're going to do this by providing your passport, your driver's license, maybe your resident card. For me, that was my case. And once they prove that you are who you know you are, you will then be allowed to create your account. Thank you, Coinbase, etc. Next is you're going to connect your bank account. Now, there's a number of different ways you can move your actual US dollars over to your Coinbase account. And don't forget, when I say US dollars, I mean Canadian dollars, UK pounds, Australian kangaroos. I don't know, what do they call them? Australian dollars, and so on and so forth. Whatever your local currency is, go ahead and connect your bank account. So you're going to be able to transfer directly from your bank account in most countries. You can also pay with debit and credit cards in some cases. You can do bank transfers, wires, all of these normal things that we used to the old system. But that is the old system and it is dying. So make sure that you're moving some money up to your Coinbase account. However, when you do come to transfer funds, I want you to do things safely. Okay. One of the key practices I learned in crypto that saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, is to always start small. It takes a little more time, but it gives you a sense of confidence, get that crypto confidence going. And at the same time, you're not risking too much. So start small means maybe transfer $100 or whatever small amount is to you. Now, typically when I say small amount, I do mean something between, let's say, $10 to $100, something like that, okay, for your first transaction. You generally don't really want to go less than 10. Some places will, force you to transfer at least $20 at a time. And the other consideration there is later on, you'll consider fees and that type of thing. So go ahead and transfer $10 to $100, okay? Just do it the first time. Get used to it. You start to understand how long will it take me to move my money? What does Coinbase do once they receive my money? Because oftentimes when you do transfer your money, you don't get access to it right away. Yes, they lock it up and they earn interest on it in the meantime. But remember, we have to use this way of getting our money in. So transfer some funds in, wait until they're available, and don't forget your security practices. Use your two-factor authentication at least, or use something like the Microsoft Authenticator or the Google Authenticator. If you don't understand what those are, that's okay. Ask me in the comments and I'll answer you in my next video. Others are make sure that you're protecting your password. Make sure that your phone, if you choose to use mobile, is secure. Now, generally speaking, when it comes to self custody, later on, you'll learn how to uh, practice safe self custody. But in this case, one of the benefits of Coinbase, I suppose, is that they spend a little bit of money on security, we hope. Even though they did have a big hack, they've all had big hacks. Okay. And this is the most unfortunate thing about forcing us to use KYC is that this is the only way we can get our money in. We have to provide a driver's license or passport and so on. And the risk is that that information could, go on the dark web at some point. There's other ways to protect against that we can get into another time. So, excuse me. Crypto and coffee are synonymous. Okay, so those are some of the security best practices. Small transactions, protect yourself with two-factor authentication, good passwords, get a password manager like Keeper, and then let's move on to step two. So here we've got some money in Coinbase. And now we want to buy our first crypto. So go ahead and click the buy sell button. And then what you're going to do is put in the amount of US dollars you want to spend. So 50 or $100, let's say, and then choose the asset you want to buy. Now for newbies, I recommend only 3 asset types. And most of you are probably going to buy Bitcoin because that's the most popular. It's the king. Everyone knows it and understands it. It's a store of value just like gold. Ethereum is the platform of innovation. And indeed, Ethereum is seen by many banks and institutions to be the place to go for DeFi and also where they want to create their funds and provide services to their customers. Now, I personally am heavily invested in Ethereum, but that's my personal choice. And I believe that that's where I'm going to make the most bang for my buck. So the third one is stable coins. And I'll get to that in a second. But what I recommend is you get started with a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of Ethereum or both. Okay. And this will take you through buying your first little bit of crypto. You'll get an understanding of how to enter your transaction, how to confirm your transaction, and then see that your transaction actually takes place live right in front of you and get confirmed on the screen. You can check your transaction details later, and there's always a record of that in crypto and also, sorry, in Coinbase. Another factor to consider if you're from the US or Canada or some of these countries is taxes. And Coinbase will actually record your information and they may provide that to the IRS. So be aware of that or other tax authorities. Now, why Bitcoin and Ethereum for beginners? Because those are the blue chips. Those are the two hottest, biggest market cap coins. They're the most well understood. They're the least volatile of the volatile assets, but it still gives you some upside. Okay. And in step three, I'm going to get into making this foolproof, taking out all the risk and taking out all of the fear of buying crypto and transferring your US dollars over into the crypto asset class where you actually have a chance of keeping up with deflation and inflation and all of the prices rising and so on. So we've talked about how to buy it. The last alternative is stable coins. Now, what is a stable coin? It's called a stable, meaning non-fluctuating coin, because it's supposed to have a one-to-one matching value against, let's say, typically the US dollar. Most stable coins are in US dollars. There are others in the Canadian dollar, in various European currencies, and maybe the yuan and so on. But a stablecoin is a digital representation of a US dollar. It is not a US dollar. It is supposed to be equivalent to a US dollar. And stablecoins take a lot of the risk out of people starting to invest in crypto. You can earn yield on your stablecoins, you can borrow against them, and you can stake them. And there's actually at least 13 or more ways that you can use your stablecoins to make an income for you passively in crypto. And I can teach you all of those things. So make sure you subscribe or check out my membership site in the link below. And that's entirely up to you. Now, let's move on to dollar cost averaging. So, with dollar cost averaging, what is dollar cost averaging? Okay, once you understand it, you'll see why it's called dollar cost averaging. But essentially, you're going to take a fixed amount, let's say $50, on a fixed schedule, let's say weekly. So you're going to take $50 weekly and you're going to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. Okay. And by buying a regular amount without looking at the price, without looking at the market, this takes the risk out of the market because you don't care about the price. All you're doing is you're buying a set amount on a fixed period. So $50 a week or $200 a month or whatever works for you and your budget. But this does a number of things. Number one, you know that you're getting into crypto. Okay. So you're on your way. Number two, it you don't look at the price, you buy that fixed amount, and it's proven that in many cases people who use dollar cost averaging over a period of time outperform traders. Highly skilled traders get beat by dollar cost averaging. And oftentimes you'll find out with the riskier cryptos is that if you just stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe some stablecoin strategies, you actually will do better than everyone else because they're all in their heads about all the different factors and all of that kind of things. All you care about, okay, newbie, is buying a fixed amount of crypto on a regular basis. Make it like clockwork, make it like a habit, make it like your coffee in the morning, make it like taking a nice shower, make it like going to the gym or going to work or getting in your car to go somewhere. It's just once a week, you take $50, you buy some Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now make that amount, adjustable to your budget. In some cases, I have my mother-in-law that's buying crypto on a regular basis and she's just gotten started. Okay. So that might be easier to do, $50 a week or a couple $100 a month. In other cases, I have friends that have been doing this for ages and they already understand the benefits and they're transporting all of their 401k, all of their stocks, they're selling out and moving everything over into crypto. So dollar cost averaging is a superpower for newbies. It's a superpower to help you get the most out of crypto with the least risk and the lowest level of education. You don't have to spend the hours and hours and hours that I spend researching all these crypto projects. Dollar cost averaging takes the risk out of that. And even I still use dollar cost averaging with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other assets too. That's a really useful technique. It's a proven technique. And there are even people that you'll popularly see on places like Twitter where they have dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin with a little bit, every day or every week. And in a couple of years, they're literally millionaires. Now, obviously, your mileage might vary depending on the amount that you put in, but using dollar cost averaging is a proven technique, and I really recommend you do that. Another way that you can do this is you can combine dollar cost averaging with lump sum investing. So maybe you have a bunch of cash and you're like, well, Mike, I want to get started in crypto. I agree with the dollar cost averaging, but I have 10,000 I want to put in today. Okay, well, here's how you can use the two together. Instead of buying $10,000 in one go, which you could do if you like, and then dollar cost average after, you could maybe split that up over 10 weeks and say, I'm going to buy $1,000 of Bitcoin per week for the next 10 weeks. And then after that, I don't have that lump sum anymore, but I still do have my salary or my job or my pension or whatever it is coming in. And so then I'm going to buy $50 a week thereafter. That gets you an entry, okay, into crypto, and it evens out the price that you enter into crypto at, and that assures you a really good entry price. And more often than not, it's important to realize that the price that you buy your crypto at is a huge factor, one of the big factors, three big factors that determines your success ultimately when you come to selling. And I have other videos on exit planning and so on. You can check back on the channel there. Or again, you can join, my crypto group. The link is in bio. That's entirely up to you. So I've given you examples of how you can implement DCAing, of how you can invest a set amount per set period, like monthly or weekly, and how this takes the fear out of things. You don't have to look at the price. You don't have to understand the market. You don't have to read any news headlines. And when the sky is falling and everything looks red and everyone's selling, or when everything looks green and everything is pumping and Bitcoin is shooting through the roof, just like Ethereum in this last week, when bananas and close to all-time high or over all-time high, depending on which exchange you use, then you don't have to worry about any of that. And you're getting the exposure. You know that you're doing your dollars good by getting them into crypto and profiting from that growth. Now, once you're into crypto, there's many, many exciting ways that we can get your money to make money. And that's one of my big philosophies is once you have those crypto assets, put them to work. And we'll cover that in future videos. So I encourage you to dive deeper into the world of crypto if you like. And you can check out the rest of my videos here on YouTube. You can check out my other content on LinkedIn or Twitter. Those links are below. And ultimately, you could also choose to join our school community. It's a wonderful app. It's easy for newbies. And also, I put in a lot of pro advice there. And we have step-by-step tutorials. I have in-depth guides, and I also provide all of the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis and show you everything that I've done to go from 0 to 500,000 in less than a year during the last bull run. And I anticipate and expect to do better in this bull run. So yeah, right now we are in a bull run. It's easy to make money during a bull run. The other thing to bear in mind is, after every bull run, there is a bear market. There's always going to be a bear market after. And I want people to be prepared. I want you to be prepared for that. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that through my channel or through my group. And I have in the group, I also have 24/7 Q&A. I respond to questions daily, multiple times a day. Sometimes I even include personal videos. And we have a beautiful supportive community of crypto enthusiasts. I got family in there. I got friends in there. I got newbies. I got advanced. I got novice. I got a course that's available to you to get you started, just like this video here, plus also DeFi blueprints that you can use. And those are all, right available in there. So check out the link below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do have any questions, please put them in the comments. You don't have to join my group, but put them in the comments and I'll answer them on my next video. So I hope you enjoyed this. And just as a recap, we had 3 steps. We got our Coinbase account, we completed KYC, connected our wallet, we transferred some money, and then we bought a little bit of Bitcoin or Ethereum, maybe stable coins. And then in step 3, we learned how to dollar cost average. And you do not need to understand anything else about crypto unless you want to go faster and unless you want to put your assets to work. But you can literally stop right here and just keep doing DCA into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you will succeed. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share this video with other people who want to transfer their wealth over into crypto and have a chance in this new economy. And I'll see you on the other side and see you in the next video. Cheers.